Starting over is always a narrative that is being pushed in our faces, left, right, and center. And most times we hear it, whether that's starting over, moving countries, changing your life, being completely impulsive, making drastic change or small change, whatever it is. It's always this glamorized version of starting over that is not the full picture. From my experiences of starting over, it's quite boring sometimes, quite lonely, quite annoying, quite frustrating, quite uncertain, and definitely not always exciting. And so I want to talk about this today from a more real, in depth perspective because you deserve to know the truth there. You deserve to know it. So maybe you clicked on this video because you are in a season of your life, you're transitioning, you're trying to figure it out, like most of us are trying to do. I don't know why a lot of people feel so confident in painting this picture like they do have it figured out. Or maybe they do have it figured out and it's just me who doesn't have it figured out. But if you're part of that club, I figured that's why you're watching this video. So let's talk about it. I have had to start over on many different occasions, sometimes voluntarily, sometimes involuntarily, and none of them feels like the most fun thing to do. Because when you're starting over, it's a very strange feeling. I'm still trying to put words to what it means, but I don't fully get what it means because different times feel different based on the reason why you're starting over, based on your resources, and just based on the season that you're in life. But regardless of it, it can be exciting sometimes, but that's not always the full picture. And I'm gonna talk about this in terms of my experiences. So don't come for me. When you have established a routine for yourself, you have your life moving on a certain schedule if you're a planner, because I'm quite aware that there are many people who are just literally being impulsive and just doing whatever they want without having a plan, and that's scary to me. I am literally trying to live into that space a little bit more because we need it. Our brains do need that routine and structure, but there are times when we need to just kind of let things flow, and what is meant to happen will just happen when and how, right? And we don't get into that space of trying to control every aspect of everything. But I want to talk about when you are losing your old routine before you find a new one in the starting over process. It's a very bumpy road. When you literally are transitioning from one space to another, you had your old routine, you had your old life, you had things kind of calculated, even though not entirely figured out the way you want, but you had some form of system that was working, right? And now you're moving over to a new system, nothing is working, you're experimenting a lot, you're trying to figure it out. Some days that feels great, and some days you just wish you would get a hang on it. I would know, because I literally feel like I've been in this transition period for about a month now, and I still haven't had my routine down pat. I'm trying to create it, I'm trying to cultivate it, but it still feels a little bit shaky, and it just feels like life is just happening quite too often for my liking. But a part of that is also understanding that in any life that you're trying to build that is ultimately yours, there has to be some room for adjustment, there has to be some flexibility, there has to be some form of peace. Like, you make peace with things just not going your way all the time. And that is ultimately a majority of the whole starting over process. It's just never as smooth as we would want it to be. It's never as polished as we would desire, but it's what it is. All right. When we're in this phase where we're transitioning, we're in the starting over phase, and we're uncertain. We don't know what is going to happen. We left any environment or situation that we were comfortable with, that we knew, that we were familiar with, and we're going into this new uncertain world, and everything just feels like you're messing up, like you are a big pile of failure that is just not achieving anything in any given time. It's not a great feeling. It's, like I said, it's the strangest thing, and not everybody will feel the same way because everybody's approach to things are different. But I'm talking about when everything, you just feel like a failure in every single aspect of the word. Not because you necessarily are, but because there's so much uncertainty. And especially if you are a planner like me, you don't know what to do with that, because you've literally always tried to organize everything, to create a structure everywhere, to create a system everywhere, and now you're literally trying to get back into your routine. So it feels like every single time when when you feel like you've gotten a hang on something, when you feel like you have developed that rhythm, you just have to, life just throws you a punch and you're literally back out in the ocean battling the waves. So it just feels like you're not making progress, you're not getting ahead, like you are literally a failure. And you are not a failure. That's just a natural progression in the starting over process. And that's why I want to talk about it, because I'm pretty sure somebody watching this video feels this way. And because you've always heard how exciting it is to start over, you don't know what to do with these feelings, because they're not what is being polished, it's not being projected out in the internet world. So your girls got you. This part of starting over is one of the most uncomfortable, one of the most anxiety filled aspect, and it's when we get the pressure to immediately know what's next. When you decided that you want to start over, when you made that transition into whatever new project or new life or new experiences that you are trying to cultivate for yourself, and you don't know what's next, right? You know where you want to go, you knew what the step one was gonna be, but you don't know 2 to 10, and everybody is coming and asking you, what are you gonna do, what's next, what is your plans? And of course, when you get older and mature, your answers, you can feel a lot more confident in your answers. And you also don't need to give an answer, because that figuring out part is yours and you don't want pressure added to it for no reason. But for example, let's say you don't feel comfortable just being blunt and telling people to mind their own business or what have you, and you want to answer but you feel ashamed because you don't know. Take the pressure off yourself. That's a natural pressure that you're gonna feel just because you don't know. Uncertainty creates a lot of ambiguity, a lot of pressure, a lot of frustrations, and that's just what it's meant to do, right? That is not exciting. There is nothing exciting about not knowing what you want to do next and having people pressuring you. If you are naturally a person that is a free spirit and you don't really care about knowing what's next, then that's different. But I'm talking about if you naturally like to know what's next, if you thrive in planning and creating and ensuring that you know what's next, it's just not gonna be fun for you, right? And so this is the reason why it's so important to settle into your own space mentally and owning your starting over season and letting it be yours, and not allowing other people to force you into it, but let it be your choice. As I'm approaching the end of this video, I want to talk about learning to be comfortable in the in-between. Starting over has a very huge gap between getting to that ultimate desire, getting to that ultimate goal, and getting into that ultimate life that feels truly like yours. The in-between is a very long line of uncomfortableness. And that's why when you don't know what's next, you just have to sit in it. I always hear this phrase, if you sit with the question long enough, the answers will appear. And there are many questions that I have for my own life that I don't know what the answers are going to be. There are many answers that I have found by sitting in the questions, and there are many answers that I'm still trying to find by sitting in the questions. And sometimes it feels like the answers are not coming. And I know I did a video recently, I don't remember what it was titled, but I was talking about the fact that sometimes the answers find you. They literally come to you because you don't know what you're looking for, but you have an idea. And so the answers come, but you have to be comfortable sitting in that unknown space. You have to be comfortable sitting in that in between and trying to figure it out, and be comfortable with knowing that you are starting over because you want to develop a better experience for yourself. I often like to reference the fact that we are all in the same 24 hours, but nobody's having the same experiences. Nobody's having the same day. You could literally spend the same day with the entire day with somebody and they're having a total different experience from you. And so make the experience yours because it is yours. And trying to live into somebody else's experience is probably the worst thing that you could ever do. And so as I am closing this video out, I want to say thank you for watching. And I want to say that you're not alone in this space where you feel like it's just strange. You're trying to figure it out and you thought it was going to be an exciting process, and because nobody's told you how strange starting over feels, you think you're losing it. You're not losing it. That's a natural part of it. Sometimes it's going to feel exciting based on the reason why you're starting over, but sometimes it's going to be the worst thing because it wasn't planned, it wasn't your intention, it's not what you wanted, but it's what you have to deal with now. And we often say we don't cry over spilled milk because you can't pick it up off the floor anyways. So we just move forward and we try to create the best experience as time progresses. All right, so just be patient with yourself and know that you're not alone in this. And thank you for watching the video. If you're new here, I'm Khrista-Lee. I talk all things investing in you. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you have not yet subscribed. I'd love to have you around. And comment below and tell me, do you feel this strangeness in your starting over experience, or is it just me? I love to know. And like the video so that other people can get this video in their algorithm, and share it with anybody who could benefit from this content. Also, follow me on all social media platforms at Khrista-Lee. That's Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And I will see you in my next video. Let's go make some mistakes. Bye.